What's up, people? In this video we're going to watch Stephanie Buttermore's new The Science Behind My All-In Journey, How Hunger and Fat Gain Works. I'm sure this will be not retarded. I don't have high hopes for this. But yeah, anyway, let's watch this. Here we go.
Do you ever wonder what determines your body weight or your body shape, or why some people seem to be naturally bigger and some people seem to be like really naturally lean? And with the prevalence of obesity rising every single year, why does it seem to affect some people but not others? And this is actually a question that has been researched for decades, and scientists have basically come up with one strong, definitive, conclusive answer. That actually depends, and there are so many different factors that determine all the inter-individual variability we see from person to person. So we still don't know definitively, but it basically just comes down to the fact that we're all so different and we're all so unique. And if you're on board with the fact that genetics play a huge role in something like the inter-individual variability with like height, then it's probably not surprising that genetics play a big role in our body fatness and how our body regulates fat storage. But we know that it's not all genetics. Obesity wouldn't be rising steadily every single year if genetics was completely to blame. So scientists have basically been trying to delineate all the factors that contribute to obesity and package it neatly into one clear and neat hypothesis. But it turns out that it's just not that simple. However, the research that we do have has led others before me to take the approach that I'm taking right now. And that approach is to rescue my normal hunger cues by allowing myself to eat until full satiation every day. I talk a lot more about this in detail in my all-in videos that I'll link down below, but I want to explore what the science has to say about my body returning back to its natural set weight after I go through this whole weight gain and all-in process to normalize my hunger. And by no means do I think that I would return to pre-all-in Stephanie, because I was like super lean then, and that was not my natural set weight. But I think it would look something similar to college 21-year-old Stephanie. And at this time in my life, I maintained this weight really easily without really having to focus too much on food. And this is a version of Stephanie before I ever did any sort of diet or bikini competition. I still had a huge appetite then, as I've had my whole life, but I ate to satiety and ate health-conscious foods, but didn't have to do too much to maintain it. And this was about 8 years ago, like I said, before I ever did any bikini competition or ever felt the need to be any leaner than this. So I want to look at the science that's available to explain why so many people who have taken this.
All right. Cope. Just cope. What this is, this is what this video is. This video is, hi everyone, I'm going to tell you why I'm getting fat and why I don't want to feel bad about it, because being in shape is too much work for me and I don't want to be in shape anymore, and I want to like get fat and probably just start having kids. And if you're also over working out because you think it's also too much work, then here are some arguments that I'll give you that you can use in your next internet argument on Facebook with like people who are going to tell you that it's all about working out and eating healthy food. No, actually, it's that point. I don't know, whatever. I think this is retarded. Plus, like, I don't know. It's all like, okay, she looked good in college, but those are professional shots. Everything is touched up a little bit. You know, there's nothing wrong with that body type. Like, you don't have to be a fitness chick, really. You don't have to be a college girl who does absolutely nothing, and you don't have to be like an obsessed fitness chick who like lives in the gym and like borderline like losing your period, right? And then you're gonna tell us like, oh, here's the science behind it. I don't know. I just think it's retarded. Like really, like honestly, I made this flowchart the other day. It was like how to get a nice body. Really, you go to the gym, you eat healthy food. That's it. Like why do people watch this? What is the point of like consuming all of this media, all of this content, all these different explanations? Like how much time do you actually have on your hands that you think is a good use of your time? Really? Like I'm even beginning to question if this is a good use of my time to review these videos. Honestly. Like yeah, Stephanie Buttermore is popular. Every time I do a video on her, like channel gets a little bit more popular, fine, but like what is the appeal here, really? Like I don't know.
This approach before me finds themselves losing this overshoot weight, albeit very slowly, during their all-in process. And at the moment, there's quite a few different body fatness regulation hypotheses, but there seems to be two that are the most agreed upon. And despite the fact that these hypotheses can't explain everything, they can certainly point us in the right direction. And the first one being is the set weight model, which often compares our bodies to a thermostat. In this model, your set weight has been genetically predetermined, and when your body drifts away from this set weight, your body sends a signal to defend this weight. We think this is because fat tissue produces a signal, generally presumed to include leptin, a hormone that inhibits hunger, and this signal is passed to the brain where it is compared to a target or set weight, and depending on the difference between the set weight and the signal, the brain can either send signals to make you eat or send signals to make you not eat. And the set weight model does get quite a bit of kickback because it doesn't explain the obesity epidemic. So if everyone has a set weight, then why are there so many people who are presumably well above their set weight? So this is where the dual intervention model proposed a solution to that. So this model incorporates elements of the set weight model, but instead of an exact weight, it uses a range that has a lower and upper limit that is genetically predetermined, and the upper and lower limit is defended by physiological systems, similar to the set weight model. But it also incorporates environmental factors that can override the upper and lower limit, which can explain the existence of very, very lean people as well as obese people.
So basically this is our theory, but there's a range And also environmental factors are an issue. So this doesn't actually like have anything to do with genetics. Okay, or it has a little bit to do with genetics. Like honestly, this is the most high level, like extreme cope I've ever seen in my life. And fine, I understand, she's an entertainer, she wants to make a popular video. Her like all in thing is super popular among like all these, like stupid girls who are too lazy to actually fucking man up and go to the fucking gym and put down your fucking Oreos. Like, what is so hard about understanding that you need to exercise? Okay, exercise is non-negotiable, right? Like, okay, the fact that like, 18-year-old Stephanie Buttermore looks better than you, didn't fucking exercise a day in her life or care about what she ate, doesn't mean that you're going to, right? If you want to look good, and again, I'm not saying you need to like go all the way and be like workout obsessed Stephanie Buttermore. Like you can be a normal person who goes to the gym every day, does like normal shit and eats normal food. You understand? Plus, like scientists, they're all a bunch of fucking scrawny, like pencil neck people anyway. It's like why are you gonna trust what they say? I'd much rather trust somebody who's actually like into the gym, could tell you what the inside of a gym looks like, than some scientists who come up with some retarded chart that says like, oh well, actually, it has to do with genetics, but there's environmental factors, so it actually doesn't have anything to do with genetics. Plus, like let's back it up here a little bit.
Eat or send signals to make you not eat. And
send signals to make you not eat? Make you? Make you? Do you know what make means? So send signals to force you to eat? Send signals to make it completely remove any sort of conscious decision of yours to eat? Is that what you are saying? Interesting. So these signals in your brain, they are controlling your behavior? Is that, so you're saying you have no choice? You have no choice in the matter. You have to do it? Or what? What if I tie you down and I don't let you do it? What will happen? Really, what will happen? You will explode? Really? Nothing is making you do anything. You are choosing to do it because, straight up, you have a choice at every second, every day, what you want to do. You are choosing to eat, you are choosing to not eat. Okay, set point, blah, blah, blah. Like, did it ever occur to any of you skeletons or fat people out there, like maybe it's your food choice, right? Like she said, it doesn't account for the obese people. Maybe it's your food choice. Maybe if you ate more protein or more like meat or more eggs or more fucking protein powder instead of your 100-calorie packs or your vegetables or like literally everything except the correct foods to eat, maybe you would not have this problem.
limit, which can explain the existence of very, very lean people as well as obese people. And this model is actually agreed upon by a lot of different scientists. But something important to note is that beyond extreme environmental pressures, like the overabundance of hyperpalatable foods, there does seem to be some evidence to support a weight range that your body likes to live happily and comfortably. So the whole goal of this video is kind of to tackle a personal interest of mine, which is why someone who undergoes a caloric deficit doesn't eat themselves into obesity indefinitely after they come out of a caloric deficit, especially if they overfeed. I want to see evidence that there are physiological signals that defend a person's set weight range that our bodies like to naturally live around. And I want to know what happens when you ignore these signals and you either under or overeat. And I also want to see why our body goes through a similar pattern when it comes to body fat regulation. So the story usually goes as follows. We go on a diet, we lose weight, and we do everything in our power to try to keep it off. Or we go back to normal eating, we regain all the weight that we lost, and oftentimes we regain back even more weight than we lost. And we actually have a pretty good idea of why this happens. Our bodies metabolically adapt to a smaller body, which lowers our energy expenditure because there isn't much food coming in with a lot less body to run. So the body adapts and becomes more efficient with the food coming in and decreases your metabolic rate. And it's believed that our bodies do this as a sort of survival mechanism in the event that there was a food shortage. And this actually happens on the flip side when we gain a lot of weight and there's an overabundance of food. Generally, your metabolic rate will increase because it was an evolutionary risk to carry too much body fat, which would put you at risk of predation if you were too slow and too big. So metabolic adaptation is actually pretty well understood, but we also know that how much each person adapts in either direction varies dramatically from person to person. Some people adapt way harder when they lose weight or adapt way harder when they gain weight. And to get a better understanding of why and how this happens, one of the most famous studies investigating starvation was conducted in 1944, coined the Minnesota Starvation Study by Ansel Keys. In this study, they had 36 healthy men, for the lack of better word, starve on half the calories they were accustomed to eating, which ended up being 1,570 calories each day for 6 months, which is a long time. And they had a goal of having them lose a quarter of their body weight. And a quarter of your body weight is a lot. So that's like a 160-pound man losing 40 pounds, being left at only 120 pounds. And I also want to note that during the starvation intervention, the men involved in the study became obsessed with food. Some of them were reported to have collected cookbooks.
Okay, so makes absolutely no mention whatsoever on the food choice, right? Glaring, like, lacking detail, number one. Number two, what many people do not seem to understand or conveniently ignore is that there is a difference between, let's call it eating below maintenance, which will do that whole cycle that she said, reducing your metabolic rate. Like, let's say you need 2,000 calories, whatever, to live, random number. Okay, you eat 1,500. your body will say, I'm only getting 1500, let me get rid of some of this muscle so that my demands are lower and also get rid of some of the fat. But when you get rid of the muscle, your metabolism drops, right? And so this cycle happens where your metabolism gets slower and slower and slower, you lose more and more muscle, and then when you binge again and you eat more shit food, because you'll crack eventually, you end up gaining a lot more fat, which is what she's talking about earlier. This is not fasting. Okay, fasting is, according to what I've heard, haven't fucking studied this to any degree, according to what I've heard and what I've seen, fasting is muscle sparing. So there's a difference, everybody, between eating below maintenance, that's actual starvation, and fasting. Okay, fasting will spare your muscle and get rid of the fat, because presumably the fasting tells your body, okay, we've got all this extra fat, there's no food coming in, so let's just get rid of the fat because we might need the muscle to like do something with the muscle, catch a fucking gazelle or antelope or whatever. Honestly, this entire video is literally just, this is what this is. This is why I'm getting fat. Here's some science to back it up. It's not actually for any other reason other than I think this will actually work. To do what exactly? Like, what is the purpose of this, really? Like, what problem are you trying to solve? You're like, your feet got cold when you were like hovering at like 9% body fat, and now you think the solution is to go all in because some other like YouTube celebrity like did it and said that it works, who has like an extremely average body. Okay, cool. All right. And it's like, here I am making another video about it. Like, I actually hate myself for doing this. What am I doing?
Cookbooks, some of them drank 15 cups of coffee a day, and some of them even chewed between 40 and 60 packs of gum a day, which is absolutely crazy. And this is explained with our physiological response to try to defend that pre-starvation weight. So after the period of 6 months of starvation, some of the men were reported to have been eating up to 11,000 calories a day because they were experiencing such extreme hunger, then eventually did level off to about 3,200 to 4,500 calories a day. Now, with such an extreme surplus, obviously all the men regained all the weight that they lost, and a lot of them also overshot their initial starting weight. In follow-up studies, some of the men were reported to have suffered some pretty long-term effects for being in such an extreme caloric deficit for so long. The diet more or less kind of messed them up. And interestingly, in the follow-up studies, 17 of the 20 men reported to have restored normal hunger cues. And although it did take them a long time, most, if not all of them, did eventually return back to their initial starting weight. And since then, a similar pattern of body weight regulation has been shown in a lot of different overfeeding studies, where subjects would undergo monitored overfeeding, obviously gain weight, but then lose that weight once they return to their free living diet. Dr. Stefan DNA presented this really clearly in a 2012 paper, where he summarizes the response to underfeeding, bringing the subjects back to baseline with ad libitum eating, then overfeeding them, followed by a period of ad libitum eating again.
This is so stupid. I can't, like, I'm actually, like, I'm getting so angry, like, I want to throw my fucking computer off the balcony. This is so stupid. Like, and honestly, if you buy into if you believe this, like, if you are entertained by this, if you, like, are somehow considering doing this, you should actually, like, I hope you're on, like, you should go on welfare. You're actually that stupid. Like, people, number one, no mention of food choice. Eating 50 packs a day of gum, like, what about eating meat that will fill you up faster? 1,500 calories a day on meat, fine, it's not like a lot for your average guy who's like whatever walking on a treadmill for however many hours they did it. But 1,500 calories of eggs per day, that's like fucking 20 eggs. It's like 25 eggs. That'll fucking fill you up. You know what I mean? That's a lot different than eating fucking 50 packs of gum a day or whatever it was, and eating fucking spoonfuls of sugar and cereal. Like, how dumb actually are these people that they think food choice doesn't matter? That's number one. Number two, everybody, what if you just skip this, you skip this, and you skip this, and you just go to the proper amount initially, right? Like, what if you just eat the right amount of food from the beginning? You have a choice. You actually have a choice. That's why I said, if you actually believe this, you think you don't have a choice, like being pulled in all these different directions by the fucking hormones in your brain, like, okay, cool, you're an idiot. Straight up, you're an idiot. Like, I can't pull punches anymore. Like, I'm not gonna like dress this up in nice language. Like, if you believe you do not have a choice as to what you do on a given day, you're a fucking loser, you're an idiot, and you do not deserve anything good in life. You deserve absolutely no happiness whatsoever. And I hope you're fucking miserable. Because, like, why should you be happy if you don't think you have a choice? Really? You have a choice. You can skip here right away. You have a choice. You can go, you can choose to live a healthy lifestyle. You see fucking donuts at the supermarket, you see Oreos over here, you see fast food, you see a Big Gulp. Guess what? Don't fucking get it. How about that? You see a fucking gym down the street from your house? How about this? You join the gym and you go there and you exercise. Do any of you out there not understand that the secret to being healthy is going to the fucking gym and exercising and eating healthy food and not eating shit food? Like, are any of you fucking mentally ill morons out there? Like, do you not understand that that is what you need to do? Set point, scientist, starvation experiment, like, hello, like, why don't, go to the store, buy healthy food. You want to take my advice, fine. Go get some meat and eggs, 50, 60, 70% of your calories from that, and get other healthy food. Get fucking vegetables, get fruit, get cottage cheese, okay? Why don't you try this? Experiment, all you like all-in wannabe skeleton girls out there, or whatever your fucking problem is. Why don't you try the healthy food challenge, where you only buy healthy food and you only eat healthy food? You don't know what healthy food is? You think you read fucking your Cosmopolitan, Teen Vogue magazine, you think healthy food is fucking kale salad? You get what you deserve. You know why? Because you're not out there actually trying to be healthy and be fit and like live a long time, really. You're just too concerned with the mirror because you're so superficial and you're so fake that all you really care about is what your dumb friends gossip about and say behind your back, oh my God, she's getting so fat, oh my God, her thighs are so big. You don't care about, in a practical sense, what is useful and what will help you live a long, healthy life. All you care about is what the fucking peanut gallery says, which is why you go through all this dumb shit and why you even give a fuck in the first place about what Stephanie Buttermore says, because she's a fucking YouTube celebrity. That's the only reason. And if you buy into all this, I'm sorry, like you're either mentally ill, you're too stupid to like deal with like the actual real world, you're like 11 years old and just don't know any better, or what's most likely is you're just looking for another excuse to give to your husband, to your boyfriend, to your fucking fat friends, to like your Facebook group or like the YouTube comments on some video that attacks your worldview that your fucking fat skeleton, or fat or obese or skeleton body is not your fault because leptin and set point. Like I can't deal with this anymore.
And reported that they usually lose that overshoot weight gain, which leads us to believe that our response to hunger and satiety cues can manipulate our weight regulation. And this physiological response to weight gain is the exact reason why we think these signals have malfunctioned in people with obesity. And that's because people with obesity are often reported to be leptin resistant, meaning that their leptin receptors are not properly signaling to the brain to stop eating. So putting this all together has led people who have gone all in before me to restore their normal hunger cues after being in a caloric deficit by going all in. And yes, they almost always overshoot their natural set weight when they initially go all in, but eventually and very slowly do come back down to their natural set weight range. And this happens because their hunger cues are restored and their appetite eventually decreases, which is what I have hypothesized will happen to me. Because as of right now, I've gained quite a bit of weight, but my appetite has significantly decreased and I'm no longer feeling nearly as hungry anymore. And I think there'll come a point that I will stop gaining weight because I will no longer be nearly as hungry anymore and I won't eat nearly as much. And from that point, I do think that after my weight plateaus, that I will start to eventually and slowly lose some of that overshoot weight over time, which is what has happened to everyone who's done this before me. Because I just really want to reiterate that I am in no way am the first person to do this method. I am just doing what others have done before me, and I'm sure there will be people who will do this after me. Now, there is something that I'd like you to keep in mind because, like I said in the beginning, I won't go back to the weight that I was prior to going all in because I was super lean then. So after my overshoot period, I should theoretically go to my natural set weight range. Now, I know this is like 8 years ago, like I said before, so I'm not gonna assume that I'll go back down to being like that lean. But even if I were to go like 5 or 10 pounds above that, I think I would be perfectly happy there. And it's crazy because I can actually feel it happening. My appetite has significantly decreased, my weight gain has slowed dramatically, but I'm not going to rush this process of trying to lose this overshoot weight because I know this is not a quick journey. It can take months to even a year before I even start to lose weight, but I have to be okay with that. And one of the biggest problems with overshoot weight gain is that once people go into a diet, and if they do regain the weight or regain even more than they initially lost, most people jump right back into a diet again, which only just restarts this cycle of metabolic adaptation to lower your metabolic rate.
Again, like I can't say it enough, right? Like think of it like this: fucking sub like 70 IQ idiots of YouTube. Like let me explain it to you like this. Let's say you have 5 steps in a sequence of you know, you have your goal over here, you have where you're starting over here, and you have 5 steps. Okay. Your first step is to ruin your health, okay, by looking like a skeleton and getting rid of all your muscle. Your next step is to eat way more than you should and get fat. And then your next step, I don't know, whatever, add some more steps in there. Fucking watch 100 more videos like on this topic before you actually do anything. And then your next step is over the course of a year, slowly lose that weight maybe. If like you're not too traumatized by dieting, oh my God. Or how about this? What about this? Crazy thoughts, everybody. Insane thoughts, right? This will simplify your life, which you probably don't want, because like, what would you talk about if your life was so simple? How would you identify with anybody in the world if like your life was so simple that you could make one little decision, one little change, and would solve your problem, right? But how about this? What if you go to the gym and exercise like a normal person, you eat food like a normal person, and you don't eat shit food like they did before all this shit food was invented, dare I say it, like a normal person, or like humanity has been for most of its existence, other than the past 50 years, 70 years, whatever it is. Okay, what if you do those things? Okay, you skip all the bullshit, you skip all the weight gain. Okay, you skip the risk of not losing the weight. Because like, what is she saying now? This is basically like, this is future projecting. That's all this is. This is like, hey everyone, here's why I'm fat. Okay, it's not because I have no self-control and like one of those like ugly, dirty fat people who, you know, are who I talk shit about in my video, or maybe she doesn't, but whatever, everybody else does. I'm actually not a fat person. I'm getting fat for a specific period of time. I will probably maybe lose the weight in the future after I've like, you know, eaten a bunch of shit food and gotten fat and seen like how that affects my brand and if people like me or not still. Because, and again, this is me fucking spitballing here, like I don't actually know, because I already have a boyfriend who's pretty financially stable also, who seems to be in love with me, and maybe I'll just start having a bunch of kids and turn my channel into like the recovering from eating disorder channel instead of the like hot fitness model channel, which is what I was in my 20s, in my early to mid 20s, because that brought me the most benefit because I was young back then and was willing to sacrifice my health to grow my brand and really become like well known. That's what this is, in my opinion. I don't know if I'm just like in a bad mood today for some reason, but like I've like hit my limit with this fucking dumb double talk. Like I'm gonna say things that are not actually what I really mean to say, like nonsense. Like it's everywhere in YouTube. I'm sick of sidestepping it. Like this is what's actually happening. And again, everybody, like, if you want to make your life as complicated as possible, you can do this retarded shit that she's doing, or you just you skip ahead to the actual solution, which none of you fat people want to hear, none of you skeletons want to hear, which is that you need to eat, like, don't eat any shitty processed food, go to the fucking gym and exercise, not cardio, go lift weights, and eat nutrient-dense food, meat and eggs, okay? That's what you eat, or healthy food, shit, like, natural food, right? But really meat and eggs, which sadly is understated in the, you know, in the world because of the scary vegan people who will like come shit on your video if you say that.
And then having to bring it back up and suffering through extreme hunger again. So what I plan on doing differently is that I don't plan on hopping on a diet the moment that my weight plateaus. I plan to allow my body to lose the weight slowly over time, you know, by eating foods that make my body feel good and exercising in a way that makes me happy. Because I don't want to go back through that whole vicious cycle of metabolic adaptation and then extreme hunger and then having to restore my hunger all over again. So I'd rather just do it once, allow my body to slowly lose the weight over as long of a time as it needs to by doing it the healthiest way possible. And I need to make this disclaimer right now. So just for the record, just so it's perfectly clear, I'm not trying to use this science to say that everyone should go out and eat whatever they want. And I'm not trying to use the science to say that this approach is for everyone. I'm simply collecting and showing you guys the scientific theories that support why I've decided to take on this journey for me. I know this video was somewhat long-winded, but I hope that you guys have a better understanding now of what this whole all-in process is about and why I believe this process will happen to me, because there actually is some science to support it. And you guys promise that you guys stick with me till the end, no matter how long it takes, because it is going to be a slow journey to lose this overshoot weight. And I'm okay with that. And I'm also okay with the fact that even when I do lose this overshoot weight, that I'll never be as lean as I was before. And I probably won't have a six-pack again, but that's okay. Six-packs are overrated. Like the video if you liked it, and subscribe if you'd like to follow along the rest of my whole all-in journey. And I will see you in the next video. Love you guys.
Okay, look, whatever people want to do, I know I raged a little bit there, but like, really, whatever people want to do with their life is their choice, okay? You want to fucking gain weight, you want to lose weight, you want to have a six-pack, you don't want to have a six-pack, you want to fucking eat donuts all day, or eat whatever you want, you want to do this retarded all-in bullshit, like, okay, fine, I don't really care. Like, how does it affect me at all? It does not. Because most people, thank God, are not mentally ill enough to fucking jump through all these hoops to fix some, like, non-existent problem because they don't actually have any problems in their real life. Okay, fine, but, and I really don't care, like, fine, give your disclaimer. Do I actually care if the, like, young, impressionable, stupid girls of America start getting really fat because Stephanie Buttermore got fat? Also, no, I really don't care, because that's not my, not that I don't care about those people anyway, but, like, if you're dumb enough to believe this and try it and think that it's actually going to work for you, shit, am I muted, or... Am I talking? Okay, so it's picking it up. I'm switching to this mic where I mute it in between every clip. Whatever. Anyway, if you're dumb enough to believe that and you get fat and you ruin your body because you think that like you're gonna get Stephanie Buttermore's results, you get what you deserve. Like, fine, made your bed, sleep in it, have fun. Like when like nobody wants to talk to you because you're fucking 50 pounds overweight and you're not an established YouTube celebrity with a bodybuilder boyfriend and a fucking 7-year career of being a hot fitness model, you're just some like average nobody who thinks that they can get fat because sometimes they feel bad when they get hungry. Okay, cool. Like, you're so scared of being hungry. Like, what's the solution, people? What is the solution, right? You want to know what the solution is? What I think the solution is, that I've said many times, and who am I? I'm nobody. Sub 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. Not a hot girl with a perfectly white smile and established credibility on social media for years and years. However, if you choose to believe what I say, or even you don't believe what I say, you want to prove me wrong, why don't you fucking try it? Why don't you try it first before you try to prove me wrong, okay? Now, the reason I say try my strategy instead of this dumb, retarded, all-in bullshit is because my strategy has no negatives. Really, what's the downside of my strategy? You go like a few days being uncomfortable, and that's it. As opposed to like a 6 month to a year commitment of being fat and looking like shit. Sorry, Stephanie, you're hot, but like, you know, being 50 pounds overweight is not a good look for anybody. All right, the fact that she has the personality and the charm and the pretty face and the nice makeup and the wide smile and the like positive attitude to kind of like improve her appearance does not mean that most girls do. But honestly, now that I think about it, I think this is, people just want to watch a train wreck. They want the suspense of wondering, is this previously like smoking hot girl, after ruining her body, what's going to happen? Because you're kind of curious, right? You're like, well, she says she's going to lose the weight slowly. Is that a ploy to like just get us keep watching her retarded all-in videos? Like, you know, week 5 of all-in challenge. What happened this week? Well, today I'm going to tell you how drinking water affects all-in. And this next week, be sure to tune in because I ate fucking 6 cans of peanut butter in a day. How did that affect my all-in journey? Like, okay, fine, we get it. I also want to make content that people want to watch, right? I made fucking 300 videos in 2 months. Like, I'm also desperate for the fucking subscribers and that ad revenue. Fine. I would sell t-shirts too if I had any fucking t-shirts to sell. I don't have any ideas, right? Someone give me some ideas. But yeah, anyway, again, like I said, this is entertainment. This is not like a solution for normal people who are sane. This is not a solution for logical people who are capable of identifying the correct solution, choosing it, and going to execute that solution without all this fucking rigmarole bullshit. Oh, God. Anyway, whatever. Yeah. This is dumb. It's just really dumb. Like, everybody, final point, okay? I don't care what scientific study you show me. I don't care what graph you show me. I don't care what fucking thousands of scientists who are fucking scrawny little pencil neck bitches you get together and you show me. I don't care what YouTube celebrity you show me. The solution is the same for every human being on the planet from now until the end of time. You go to the gym, you lift weights, or you play a sport, you eat nutrient-dense food, meat and eggs, the most nutrient-dense food on the planet, and you limit your eating frequency to once a day, or if you're really fat, you fucking go fast. And finally, you don't eat processed shit food. Okay, you can show me whatever study you want, you can fucking show me whatever book you want, you can show me whatever fucking e-celeb you want with a perfect white smile and a fat ass. I do not care, because that does not change reality. And the reality is that if you eat healthy food, if you don't eat unhealthy food, if you go to the fucking gym and lift weights, if you limit your eating frequency, you will look good, you'll be happy, and you'll be healthy. That is it. Whew, man, I need a fucking cigarette. Okay, yeah, if you guys have any other recommendations for videos, I lost it on that one. Peace.